All right, Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shay Seeking, and we're back. Today we're going to go ahead and go into. Oh, well, I must remind you that this is not your mama's Bible study. That's my disclaimer. Because we know that sometimes his, story lies. Again, well, the way I look at it is we're talking about our story, really. But we're trying to bring forth her story as well. Okay. I mean, and it's funny to separate it that way because it's really just the story. But again, the way society has programmed us, we have to try to decipher and sift through the word or whatever it is that we're looking into and use discernment and when doing so. Look, I've been on a journey. I'm telling you. For the past couple hours, like something hit and it's just like I know I don't have that much time in a day. I have things to do, but I just want to get into a couple things, and that's just it. Okay, so again, we're gonna go ahead, and I wanted to do, what was it? Something brought me to looking at 14 about Yeshua or Yeshia, Yeshaya, going into the highways or whatever. And I was thinking about that, and I'm thinking like, in our day and age, well, okay, let's look at it like this. And we're looking at antiquity, like when we're talking about the highways or whatever, I think a lot of people think about, roads or whatever. I mean, but if we were really talking about the time of Jesus, I doubt that there were any really highways. Do you understand what I'm saying? I doubt that there would be any highways like what we have here today in metropolitan areas or in big cities and things like this. So again, are we symbolically, allegorically, or are we talking about a parallel here as to what we're talking about? So again, we already know that we talking Christ consciousness in this day. So could there have been something like that in that day? And again, either we're talking about a time that was not the time that we've been given the perception to perceive that it was, or we're talking about something else. So when I thought about that, I'm thinking like this has something to do with something else, some type of connection that has something to do with some kind of energy or frequency or something like this. We're not talking about no roads. This is what I'm thinking, right? Even how you hear people say, oh, just take the high road. It's usually, you got to do some kind of mental something to try to get yourself through something by it's a mindset, you know what I'm saying, to take the high road, right? So, that's made me start thinking, and then I'm thinking, okay, some of the things that we're experiencing with so-called ascension and things like this must be talking about something else. All right. And then, that kind of led me to going into 15. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? 14 and 7. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden. Sit down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden. I keep wanting to say Biden. Of him. Give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. Crying, go up higher, then shalt thou worship in presence of... Okay, see, and this is what I'm saying. Then I want to go back, but we're not doing that right now. We went into 15. So, we're going into Luke 15. Okay, so again, it's talking about uh, the dishonest tax collectors and other notorious sinners often come to listen to Jesus or Yeshua or ISIS or, again, whatever you choose to place there. Okay. Um, Sermons. Okay. So again, these are like, again, it's almost like how I see it today with certain people that are in certain places that may view certain people's content because they're keeping an eye on certain people. And so again, it that's kind of like what it reminds me of. Okay. And again, to be someone that's monitoring things, and some of these people are not honest people. Some of these people are dishonest people. Some of these people are in it for some kind of gain or some kind of something else, or to be deceptive. Again, and some people are here genuinely because they're, or here or other places again, because they genuinely want to know. Okay. Again, it's always some kind of something there. Some kind of balance, whether it's the good outweighing the bad or whatever, whichever way it goes. Okay. But again, I feel like this is the kind of like, well, not the eye on the prize, but a way, like I said, that certain energies on this plane today are keeping an eye on certain individuals because they know exactly who they are. And they want to find ways to have them stumble. They want to find ways that they can point the finger and say, hey, no, well, look at this. Right. And so, again, all of this stuff is coded in certain things that we take in and we consume through media and things like this every day. And again, if you know how to read between the lines or see a little bit deeper, then you'll see what we're doing here. Okay. So it says here that so again, dishonest tax collectors and other notorious sinners often came to listen. And then you wonder why. Why? If this was just a poor child, poor boy from this place and everything born, or a poor woman, or you know what I'm saying? However people want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't telling you how I'm looking at it. I'm just, but because we're just looking. You know what I'm saying? It's not about what I believe personally. We're investigating the word. We're looking at it the way that we should be, piece by piece. Okay, we're using all the other things in this universe that we have, come across, and all these other things to come to terms with what we might be seeing here. Okay, again, but this caused complaints from the Jewish religious leaders. Now, see. Well, there we go, using that religious term, because again, these Jewish religious leaders are the ones that have given most of the time, I feel, a misconception as to what we're talking about when we're looking at these words. So why would these people be so mad? Why would this cause complaints from these Jewish, first of all? First of all, we're talking about Jewish. So that's something like a Jew. Kind of like mankind, something like a man. You get what I'm saying? Israelite, that is a lighter version or another version of Israel. Okay? So again, these Jewish religious leaders and the experts on Jewish law, because he was associating with such despicable people, okay? Even eating with them, okay? So again, when we're talking about eating, when we look at this term, let's see, I want to make sure I keep my, I put ET. Okay, apologies. Okay, class V, consume. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so again, I just wanted, because I haven't, sometimes I like to go back and look, right? So eating, anytime we're talking about this, we are talking parables sometimes, right? So again, to eat with them would be to consume food or knowledge, possibly, right? It's a nourishment, right? See? It can be very nourishing, couldn't it? Or wear away, consume, waste, it's even almost remind me of certain energies, right? So you have good and bad, right? Or negative, positive, yin and yang, whatever it would be. So you have certain energies that's going to be around, and some of those energies are going to be sucked, like how we say vampires. Again, we have to talk about these things in terms of what is going on with this day. So again, some of us have been given eyes to see and ears to hear, and been able to, in visions and dreams and all these other certain things that we deal with on this plane today, in order to share these stories where people can kind of get a better idea of what we may be seeing in these times. And so, to be talking about this, to preoccupy, see, this is also cunninlingus. Take back, dine away from, let's see, to eat, take in, worry, or cause anxiety in a persistent way. Use up. So again, see, because some of us dealing with these type of energies right now, we don't even understand that what we're reading here is what we're talking about, right? Some of us have dealt with these throughout our journey, these certain feelings. And right here in etymology is telling us here, okay, take in food used of animals only, to feed. Okay, so again, this is somebody feeding off of someone, even in a sense where I look at it as in this time that there are going to be certain people that are going to bring a very prophetic word or way. And what's going to happen is people are going to be watching them, and they're going to be making sure that they want to see where you're at. They want to see what you're thinking. But at the same time, they want to also have others in keeping an eye or looking to see, so you don't go this way. So again, in that sense, you're causing them some type of anxiety. So again, some of these particular types of leaders that we may be talking about. All right. And then you have those that they are inflicting this particular type of behavior on because they are afraid of these particular individuals. Some of you, some of us, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Okay. And they know that. So again, I mean, I just can't even see this any other kind of way. Okay. Only I'm speaking these things in a certain way. I will hope that you can understand. So again, and this is kind of like we were talking about the other day with Yeshua would have been, dealing with these types of people. But if he was going to be looked at as like a healer amongst the people, or she, however you want to look at it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you what, again, okay? Take it how you want to. Wouldn't be dealing with, would be dealing with these people in order to even heal. So again, some may have come just to take. Some may have come and said, hey, you know what I'm saying? So it's a, I don't know. That's just funny to look at it like that. Yeah. Because again, what would be looked at as, maybe they could learn something from, Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe they could learn some, because the other day I was feeling some kind of a cleansing of souls or something that was going on in the midst of, I was feeling some kind of way that day, and it just felt like, like even just what different downloads and stuff that were coming in that day. And that's why, I just can't, and I think it's just been me also just thinking about the guides and the ancestors and those who have been, carrying the ones that I feel like, it's safe. Right. And so, yeah, that's just, but it felt like a releasing of something, and it's just funny. Okay. Okay, so they would be saying, why would you be dealing with? But again, if he came to the lost sheep, right? Okay, because Jesus didn't come for the whole world at some point in time in the biblical text. He said, I only came not even for the sheep, but for the lost sheep of Israel. So that means that he was coming to be around people that would have been doing particular things that they maybe should not have been doing, or in order for him to like rub off on them another way. And some, I'm sure some of them might have came with their own way. Oh, this Jesus, or or this Yeshua, or whatever, and they may have learned something. And then some left that way the same way because they couldn't take, I guess, his light, possibly. You know what I'm saying? And then there's some that, I mean, this is just something. I mean, we can't even keep on moving because I'm just seeing so many things here. So again, yeah, I can see what this would be looked at. Okay. And eating or consuming, like I said, to use up. Wow. To consume, devour, or consume. Okay. Okay. So it says, so Jesus used, or Yeshua used this illustration. Okay. Okay. So I guess he's given like a visual, right? But I guess you can, visualize something in your mind, or we could be talking about an illustration that would be, written, okay, or drawn out. If you had 100 sheep, and one of them strayed away and was lost in the wilderness, wouldn't you leave the 99 others to go and search for the lost one until you found it? Okay. Well, I don't know. Many would some people might say no. I don't know. And then you would joyfully carry it home on your shoulders. When you arrive, you would call together your friends and neighbors to rejoice with you because your lost sheep was found. But my whole thing is, what was the other sheep doing when they were sitting there? While you was off on this journey, however long it took. Wow, that would be something that I would think. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you look at it. I mean, we're just looking at let's see what else it says here. Well, in the same way, heaven will be happier over. In the same way, heaven will be happier over one lost sinner, okay, who returns to God than over 99 others who haven't strayed away. Okay. I mean, I don't know. It kind of reminded me of like a slave too, like a hunter kind of mentality. Or take another illustration. A woman has 10 valuable silver coins, and loses one. Won't she light a lamp and look in every corner of the house and sweep every nook and cranny until she finds it? And then won't she call in her friends and neighbors to rejoice with her? In the same way, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God when one sinner repents. I can see. Okay. To further illustrate the point, he told the story. A man who has two sons. When the younger told his father, "I want to share your estate now, instead of waiting until you die," his father agreed to divide his wealth between his sons. A few days later, this younger son packed all his belongings and took a trip to a distant land, and there wasted all his money on parties and prostitutes. About the time his money was gone, a great famine swept over the land, and he began to starve. He persuaded a local farmer to hire him to feed his pigs. The boy became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding the swine looked good to him. Mm. Hmm. I don't know. The boy became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding I just want to see something. Elongated seed vessel. Oh, okay. Detachable body of an aircraft. Pod people was popularized in the movie Invasion of the Body Snatcher. About a plant-like alien life form arrives in Earth, and the pods are capable of replicating people. What was that? Just somebody was just talking about. Herd of whales or seals. A vessel that contains seeds of a plant. Several seeded dehiscent fruit. A group of aquatic mammals. A detached container of fuel on an airplane. Take something out of its shell or pod. Produce pods or plants. Huh. You see, that's why I like this thing, this Living Bible. It be going somewhere with something. If you really like someone, that really want to dig real deep, these are the best Bibles I think to use. Is the Living Bible. Let's see what it says in the King James. 15. Join yourself. Okay, and he went. Wait, the boy came so hungry that even the pods he was feeding. Oh, that's 16. And 16 in the King James is, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husk, and the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. So yeah, it uses a different way of speaking in that one, but this pod. And no one gave him anything. Oh. When he finally came to his senses, he said to himself, at home, even the hired men have enough food. Have food enough and to spare. And here I am dying of hunger. I will go home to my father and say unto him, I have sinned against heaven and before thee. Again, I'm just thinking something about roads that lead to heaven, or, you know, within certain beings. And whew, and am I no more worthy to be called thy son? Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he rose and came to his father. But when he, oh no, I'm apologies, we're in the wrong one. Okay. Home to my father and say, Father, I have sinned both against heaven and you, and am no longer worthy of being called your son. Please take me on as a hired man. So he returned home to his father, and while he was still a long distance away, his father saw him coming and was filled with a loving pity and ran and embraced him and kissed him. His son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and you, and I am not worthy of being called your son. But his father said to the slaves, Quick, bring the finest robe in the house and put it on him, and a jeweled ring for his finger, and shoes, and kill the calf we have in the fattening pen. Wow. We must celebrate with the feast, for this son of mine was dead and has returned to life. He was lost and is found. So the party began. Meanwhile, the older son was in the fields working. When he returned home, he heard dance music coming from the house. And he asked one of the servants what was going on. Your brother is back, he was told, and your father has killed the calf we were fattening, right? I'm just even seeing heifer here. Let's see. Young bovine animal. Again, I'm seeing class here, just randomly is coming to me. Or just a position, like even a young cow to swell, hence womb, fetus, young of an animal. Okay, because animal are, when we look up animal in etymology, is talking about people as well. So again, I'm just saying. So again, we're talking about servants in some of these verses, and servants are, right? Or hired hands or hired men or women, a young cow. So again, this is even making me think of like someone that is youthful in the coming of some type of placement or something, I don't know. Okay. So it says, fine kind of leather made from skin of calf. Extended 1725, the young marine mammals, the adults of which were called bulls and cows. So again, I don't know, I'm getting this whole thing with these horns and with like even a tourist, getting this whole thing right now about like just like even when we're talking biblical, I'm getting, I don't know, even like the horns that you see in ancient Egypt, right? That would be, on both sides of the sun. Oh, and that's making me think about the cherubim, and that's making me think about the trees when it comes to Sumeria, when it comes to Inanna. I know it's just making me think about a lot of different things, right? But then I'm looking at that sun as a feminine aspect, you see, okay. there's another reference it's I'm thinking of from the biblical text when it comes to a bull or even Moloch or something like this. I don't know. So again, is from Exodus. The golden calf. Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking about too, right? Because even when we look at the golden calf, right? I was looking at that in two different ways. Like, okay, a golden calf like being something that they were saying idol worship, but if these were people that were newly coming out of their own so-called culture, this could be something that would be making reference to what was, right? But that would have been the natural energy source of that would have been taken away, right? Would have been probably a female aspect that was taken away. But then they decided to put something into something else, right? To make it. And if and that's why I'm saying about like using etymology when we're reading this text, because it started to make me think of like this, the calf don't even really have to be golden, because golden means something else. And so we're talking about actually putting in things like we talk about tax collectors and stuff, right? So it's about like putting in some kind of financial backing, possibly. I don't know. I mean, that's just what I'm getting. Hmm. Larger in man than in mammals, supported by standard. Okay, upright. Young domestic cattle. Hmm. Okay. Or what? Calf, young or various large placental mammals, whale or giraffe or elephant or buffalo. I don't know. When we're looking at that elephant, I'm feeling like Republican is coming to mind. I don't know why. Okay. So, wow. Okay. So, hmm. Okay, take him in as a hired man. So he returned home to his father, and still long distance away. His father saw him coming and was filled with loving pity, and ran and embraced him and kissed him. Um, and again, even when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about like, I don't know. It's like I'm seeing like a Arabic or uh, Muslim. I don't know, because we're talking about someone kissing and embracing each other like that, and not to say that nothing wrong. No, I'm just saying that in certain cultures these days we see these certain things that people do. So when I'm reading the text, if that stuff is something that carried on over time, I'm just paying attention to certain things like that when I'm reading the text. Okay, it kind of sounds something like that. Um, Not to say a father can't, but today we frown upon it in a sense, right? But there's certain cultures that still do this, right? Okay, and it's not that many. Okay, his son said to him, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and you, and I'm not worthy of being called your son." But his father said to, excuse me, the slave, "Quick, bring in the robe." Okay, so we already did that. So and they kill the calf. So again, this is cutting off, right? This doesn't actually have to mean, it feels like we're talking about cutting off, right? Severing ties or severing, um, stopping the flow of, or something of that nature. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. Um, I don't know. I mean, we could also be talking about to kill one. Okay, we could, right? I don't know why we had to bring that up, but I guess for whatever festival or whatever, it would be important to see what who does these kind of things when people come. There's a lot of other people that eat and drink and make merry in their religious aspect, when certain things happen. So that would be something too, because most so-called Christians don't do this stuff but on holidays or so-called holy days, where or certain feasts and stuff like that, where other religious cultural modern groups do these type of things all the time. Come together, make merry, join for food and things like this. It doesn't have to be for a wedding or a holiday or something. Sometimes they just do these things, okay? And break bread or whatever, okay? Okay, so we must celebrate with a feast. For this son of mine was dead and has returned to life. He was lost and found. So the party began. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field working. When he returned home, he heard dance music coming from the house. Okay. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Goodness. When we're talking about the communication, and I hate when I do this. Okay, when we're talking about the communication between Christ and others in the highway, okay, because I can think about the sense of today. I was wanting to say that we keep saying about going out in the streets, but the highway is the internet. The highway is that particular connection. So if someone can use algorithms and things in order to, do you see what I'm saying? Some certain people, then they're able to control the flow of that energy or whatever it would be that would be coming to the people. So again, today, if there was a Christ coming, he gonna be on the internet, or she. Do you understand what I'm saying? When if we look at somebody, if we say like a Christ consciousness movement happens every decade or something like this, think about even MLK, right? It was like, could we call it the Chitlin circuit kind of like thing? With that type of movement, they were driving in cars. They read newspapers. It was let me get to these people's house and use the phone over here. There was the communication was not that. You know what I'm saying? So again, and if you're talking about Jesus of Nazareth, we talking about riding on donkeys. From one end of a nation to another and all these other things like this. Come on. And in the newspaper, again, would have been around. I mean, in the 1831, 18. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what we're really looking at. Think about John Brown and what was going on. So, again, but all in all, there's probably always been some kind of energy force or something between others that connected them of maybe a telepathic type of way of joining, right? Or maybe you just get a little bit of something and then you can wrap your head around the whole thing of what that message, or like what do you call it, telegraph or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Because remember we did the video on the telegraphs and the Indians and find out that they were using this as a war tactic. I want to say in the late 1800s, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. That was a while back. But again, these things, okay? So again, meanwhile, the older son was in the fields, okay, and so dance music, whatever was coming from the house, okay. And he asked one of the servants, "What's going on? Your brother is back," he was told, "and your father has killed the calf we were fattening and has prepared a great feast to celebrate his coming home again unarmed." Okay, so again, this is also making me think about like even, he coming home again unarmed, like he was out on a journey or something, like on the path to something. Are we thinking like a road to redemption? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it says the older brother was angry and wouldn't go in. His father came out and begged him. Okay, but he replied, "All these years I have worked hard for you and never once refused to do a single thing you told me. And in all that time, you never gave me even one young goat for a feast with my friends." Okay. Now, I don't know about that. We throwing the word young on there. But again, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that, and we talking prostitutes over here on the other side. Oh, so it's like, man, he's out here doing this, and he going to get these prostitutes, or, it just even seemed like in a sense of like, even with the feminine aspect of it, like even like, women servicing or doing service or whatever. And then, they're, and they may be plain, they may not do all these things, and, they may not be trying to wear the best hat to church and things like this. And they may be just themselves and more authentic and natural. And, what I'm saying? And those women are cast to the side, like a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just seeing this as like a whole thing when it comes to society. And then what they want to do, again, that's what it's talking about with idol worship, right? In the other video that we did, that these people are going to be making sure they invest in the idol, which would not be, it would be the false image of, right? So again, if we look, you really just got to look at this. And again, this is not, we're going to talk about some things, I think, when we go into another book. I kind of wrote down notes and I don't have them right here. That whole thing about that idol worship was to build up a calf. But see, but what he's saying here is that, we've been building up this calf or whatever, but let's get rid of it. See? The brother has returned. Oh, I don't know. I'm just seeing too many things here. It's just so many things going on in my mind right now with the information and visions and things over the past couple days. So, I don't want to do too much and just do too much. So, but that's usually what it is when we're talking about idol worship. It's painting something up to look like something that it's really not. You see? And then with society and the way things are today, we have to think about in modern times. Even when we was talking about like Yeshua being a poor, from poor, or didn't have, much. And so it's just, wow, I don't know. I'm just thinking about this in a different way here. All these years I've worked hard for you. Okay, so yeah. So again, yet when this son of yours comes back after spending your money on prostitutes, you celebrate by killing the finest calf we have on the place. Wow. Look, dear son, his father said to him, you and I are very close, and everything I have is yours. But it is right to celebrate, for he is your brother. And that's what I've been feeling like this whole like family. Oh my goodness, y'all. Some family ties is just even really just going through. And he was dead and has come back to life. He was lost and is found. Wow. I don't know. That means something a lot. Like I said, because I'm just trying to take all this in, as to like, sometimes I just get up and I wanted to read this because it was on my mind. Right. And so I'm sharing this because it's maybe it's a message in there for somebody else. But then, after this is going to take me some time to just like process and take all this in and see what we're, just look at it a little bit deeper. I like to just sit, marinate on it. Yeah. Because let me see. Okay. Oh, okay. So I think we're talking about the shrewd man in 16, I think. So yeah, we just started in 15. So I think I'm going to do 16 next. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stop there because I wanted to lead into it because I did want to go into 16 was where I wanted to be. Right. But I just wanted, because I hadn't been in Luke for a long time. So I wanted to kind of just go back a little bit first and come in. So again, this is just what I would be generally doing in the morning. So I'm just reading it with you guys. That's it. Again. So again, I'm never here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looks like to me and just, helping others see that it's okay to expand your mind. Now, I'm not saying get off track. I'm just saying there's other tools out there, including the ones that are within you, that are going to guide you and guide us to what the truth is in these times. And that's all. All right. So again, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And I will see you guys soon. Take care.